Before we begin, click subscribe to stay up to date with all of our newest video content.
This is Brandi Clymer. The knowledge tip from CS3 today is Astounding Pain-Free Payroll Tax. Scissortail will save you so much time and headaches by making taxes easy. Payroll taxes, they can be such a headache. Keeping my tax tables up to date, remitting proper amounts, filing my forms to federal, state, and local authorities, all with differing dates. My payroll tax laws are frequently changing and becoming more complex. All this makes tax compliance challenging. But Scissortail is here to help you out. Let's talk through some of the top tax concerns I hear from customers and how I see Scissortail helping. First, maintaining tax tables. With most on-premise systems, you have to watch for updates, schedule with IT when to download and install them. With Scissortail, my tax tables are automatically updated as they're released to ensure I have the most accurate withholdings for my employees. Next, knowing taxes to withhold, especially locals. If you're in a state subject to local taxes, it's challenging to find the correct ones. Scissortail HCM uses geo-spatial mapping technology to help determine and withhold the appropriate taxes for that employee based on their home and work locations. Let's look at a couple of examples. My first employee lives in Michigan. I've put his address in on the left, and on the right-hand side, I can see a lot of details about the address down to the city and county that the employee lives in. Let's look at everyone's most challenging state, Pennsylvania, when it comes to local taxes. On the left-hand side, I've put in my address, and on the right-hand side, I see a little bit more detail than I even saw on my last employee, down all the way to the school district. I can see what taxes this employee needs. Next, I have to keep up with employee changes. Scissortail maintains the latest state and federal W-4 forms. Let's flip over to Scissortail and take a look. I'm logged in as an employee, and I'm going to add a new withholding form. Here I can see I've got my federal W-4. I'm going to select it and scroll down past the instructions to the withholding certificate, where I can select my marital status and my number of exemptions, along with additional withholding if needed. Once I'm done, I can submit my withholding form, which will go to a payroll admin to approve. And once it's approved, it'll update my taxes for the next payroll automatically, all done without a paper form. Next, when I set up a new earning or deduction, how can I be sure it's taxed properly? Let's flip back over to Scissortail. I'm in Scissortail in my earning code setup, and I'm going to add a new earning code. When I do, I'll see that there's something here called an earning code roll-up, and that gives a listing of all the different options I have where my tax setup has been predefined. You'll notice there's quite a few different ones. And then if I have a special situation, there are custom options available where I can define the rules that I need for the taxes for these particular codes. Deduction setup is very similar. I'll have things like Section 125 or standard deductions. Next, after every payroll, there's several different places I have to go to pay my taxes. With Scissortail, after your payroll is finalized, your taxes are transmitted automatically to the proper federal, state, and local tax authorities for that payroll. This means you're paying the right amount of taxes at the right time. Next, federal tax forms. With Scissortail, you'll be able to review and balance your quarters like normal. At quarter end, I can come into my company quarters, pull up my checklist, and once I go through all the steps and check off and close the quarter, then my quarterly or annual tax forms are filed on my behalf, and I'll get a copy of those forms. You'll still have to handle any forms where you hand something to your employees like the W-2s or 1095s. Another option is we can have our employees give their consent electronically using the little button up here in the top right, electronic consent. Dealing with tax administration is time-consuming and nerve-wracking. Having a system like Scissortail HCM that handles your tax payments and forms makes taxes easy.
Was this video helpful? Click subscribe to see more videos like this one.